Hello Reborners, my name is Karen and this is Making Dolls with Karen. We're back with Madison. She only has a couple steps to go to be finished. One of them is we're going to put her blush on her. Her scratch is looking pretty good, look at that. I think it looks awesome. And we're going to touch that up as well. I'm going to try another technique that I think might help make it look more like a scratch. I'm going to add a little bit of thick medium to a little bit of red and try to dab that on, and that should give her scratch a more scratchy look instead of just a line of paint on her face. And her nails look good. These don't look as good as the rest of them. I'm gonna work on those, but they look pretty good, I think. And we're going to be touching them up a little bit too. And after we've baked her from her blush, we're going to come back and we're going to try to do a little bit of, put her eyes in, put her eyes in, put her magnet in, that kind of stuff. And I'd love to be able to do that before she baked, but you just can't. I could put her eyes in, but even though they say the eyes can bake, they don't bake well to me. I sometimes can see, I don't bake eyes anymore, I used to, but in the corners and at the edges, you could see little cracks in it, like it was about to just give way or something. And some people put the eyes in at the beginning, and I don't get how they make it all the way through. I just don't. But anyway, we're going to get ready to put some nice blush on her. And when she comes back out, I don't know about all these sponges. When she comes back out, if she still looks like she needs some more facial blush, well, we'll give it to her. But I don't know. I'm just reluctant to blush on top of blush. That's why I do this other blush real early. But it's the lightest I've ever done, I think. So maybe she's just going to be a fair baby. I don't know. But let's get us one of these brushes and let's get to it. Time's a wasting. I should have mixed that first. Swirl it a little bit. I gotta get it a little bit mixed. I just don't like sticking my brush down in that. It plunges right through the sealer. And I didn't even get one to you put the paint on with. Oh, here it is. The sealer. It plunges right through the paint thinner, right down into that thick paint. Then you have a glob of thick paint on your brush and you don't know it. And you end up wiping it on your doll or something. That's why you see me kind of shake it up before I open it up. I want to make sure I don't have that. So anyway, Madison, she's going to be a cutie pie. I like almost all the dolls. Even if I don't really like the sculpt, I like that they come alive kind of as you're painting them. And they start to take on a little personality, sort of. And you start to like them. And I don't know. I don't know what that is, but I want it off my doll. Get her all painted up here and pretty, and get her a pretty dress on. And well, I don't know that she'll have a dress. She might have a onesie outfit. I have a lot of those. They're Disney. I have a lot of Disney clothes. Walmart has started selling Disney clothes. And I'd love to go to another store like Target or any other store, but we don't have one here. And I'm very limited in the way I can get around because I don't have a car. And all of the services that take you around places to get things will only stay in your own county. They won't take you to other counties. It's too far. And so Walmart's it. So I shop around Walmart for the best deals I can find on the cutest clothes I can find. Lots of times here lately, I've been buying them at regular price. So in my listing, it states clearly, you buy the doll for regular price or you don't get the dress. You're going to get some other outfit that I didn't pay regular price for. and isn't as cute either. Hardly ever does the really cute ones make it to the clearance rack where you can buy them at a cheaper price. Not in newborn size. The newborns go first. Everybody's looking for a really, really cute outfit to put on their newborn. Not that bigger babies don't wear those outfits too, because they do, but my babies never grow, so I can't go, well, I'll get it in the next size, and then she can wear it in that size, you know. I was buying clothes from this one lady on Macari, and I was picking out the newborns, and she had several different outfits, and she'd go, I'm not sure if I have that one in newborn. I might have it in 0 to 3 months. I said, well, I need newborn. She said, well, they'll grow into it. I said, not my babies. They don't grow. And she goes, oh, okay. She got what I meant. Oh, they're not real dolls. They're not real babies. They're dolls. And so I said, if it's too big, it's always too big, you know. I like them to. I know a lot of artists put clothes on their dolls that are way big. They're way, way big on them. Look like a sack almost. You could, like they just threw a sheet over it or something. I like her coloring. And but I like my doll's clothes to fit, at least to a certain degree. You can't make them fit 100%. If you do, you're just lucky. You just happened on a doll that is the right size. Because clothing sizes vary and doll sizes vary. Dolls between 18 and 20 inches are considered newborns. And sometimes a 21 inch and sometimes a 17 inch. But, you know, but the clothing pretty much is going to fit probably the 19-inch doll or the 20-inch doll the best. That's what I would say anyway. It'd be a little bit big on any other size doll, I think. I'm not sure. I've seen clothes be just super baggy on some dolls, and then other clothes on that same doll would be tight. So it's because the clothing runs different too. The newborn size encompasses, I suppose, a variety of sizes. Some of them come in what you would call a small newborn. They're not marked like that. They're just marked newborn, but it's smaller than other newborns, but it's still bigger than the preemie, so they call it newborn. And then there's other ones that are almost big enough to be 0 to 3 months, but not quite, and they call those newborn as well. And I call them large newborns. And then there's the regular newborn size that fits a newborn, you know. And same thing for other clothes too. There's larger preemie clothes and smaller preemie clothes. So when people ask, what size does she wear? She's a newborn size doll. Some of them wear bigger than others. I don't know really quite how to answer that question. I usually just put, this one wears newborn if it's newborn size, you know. If it's like 17 inches or under, I might say some preemies, some newborns, depending on the size, you know, the actual size of them. You know, it's weird. That sounds weird, but it's true. Shoes run different too. If you've never bought shoes, you can try on one pair of shoes your size and they're too tight. You can try on another pair of shoes your size and they fit just right. I think I'm going to start taking my dolls with me to Walmart when I want to get them shoes, because it's so confusing to try to get a pair of shoes for a doll. I don't like it when the shoes are way big on the doll's feet. It makes them look like they got clown shoes on. I like the shoes to fit, and I want those newborn size shoes. You have to go to Walmart a lot to find any of those, because they don't get very many of those in. They only hardly ever get the 0 to 3 months, or the size ones, is what I would call them. I want the size zeros, the little bitty ones, and they're just hard to find. I've got two pairs, one girl pair and one boy pair. But they don't match everything, my dolls. You know, I was getting them for photographs, and they're a little expensive to send with the doll. I think $10 a pair of shoes is expensive, and for a baby. When my kids were little, they still had these kinds of shoes, like what I'm talking about at Walmart. But they also had these other kind that were more like a booty, but they didn't fit like a booty. They went on, they were just super, super, super soft, like only cloth. They were cloth shoes. And my kids, before they could walk, wore those. And they were, uh, looked like little pairs of tennis shoes and stuff, but they're not like the ones you buy now that are super soft, what they call crib shoes. These, I guess, were really booties. I don't know. I have one doll that has a pair that I found, and they were calling them vintage. I had to pay a lot of money for that pair of shoes. I had a pair of one of my son's shoes like that, but when our house burned, everything burned up, so I didn't get to have it to put on one of my dolls. It would have been a keeper doll. Oh, I at one time had some doll shoes that I had bought from a lady, and they were super the right size. And I put them on every doll I had. I bought multiple pairs from that lady. She had little saddle Oxfords and little white shoes and blue shoes and pink shoes and just every kind of shoe you can think of. I stuck with mostly the white ones, though, because well, you want it to match their clothes as best as you can. And when you start getting those colors, that color's the only color it's going to look good with. And so I didn't want to have that dilemma. I have it enough with bows and socks and other things that, you know, you don't want to have that dilemma all the time. Okay, where's one that actually matches this doll, you know? And anyway, long story short, I stuck with white shoes. And every doll I had a pair of white shoes on. And then, you know, I quit making dolls for a while. I thought I was tired of doing it, and I didn't want to do it anymore. And I gave all my stuff to my niece, and including all the pairs of shoes I had. And I don't know, I didn't get them back. She brought back the kits, the paint brushes. I gave her all my stuff. I said, I'm not going to make any more dolls. I'm tired of doing it. And then I started wanting to make dolls again. I started seeing dolls I wanted, let's put it that way. And I wasn't going to buy them. I said, I'll make me one. And so I started back making dolls, and I don't guess I'll give it up again. I don't know. We're going to be checking her lips and nails for the last time, and we're going to work on her scratch. I'm going to try to mix a little concoction that will make her scratch a little bit rougher. And the best way to do that is with one of the mediums. And I'm going to use thick medium. Because, well, it's thick. That's why, I guess. And I think a scratch should be a little raised up off of the skin. It shouldn't be flat to the skin. So, okay, now we're going to go all over her again and make sure we've got her all pounced out good. We don't want any harsh red. I think we've come through pretty good with her, and we don't want to mess it up right here at the end. So we're going to take this cleaner one and we're going to sponge her. That's what I got it out for. It's just got a little on it. I'm going to sponge her real good and make sure she's just got color and no pools of anything weird. I wish that putting her eyes in right now wouldn't spoil her paint, but I think it will. Also, another thing about putting eyes in first. You have to be super careful not to get any paint on them eyes, because guess what? It soaks into the eye. And you can see the white is starting to turn. kind of reddish or whatever color you're using. The whites of the eyes are no longer really white, you know. And I don't like that either. So I don't bake it, I don't paint it. Now if it was just a touch-up paint in a mini bake or something, I would, but I just like to keep them as clean as possible. And I tried that Eileen's paper glaze thing to make their eyes look wetter. Oh, it just made them look hazy. It didn't dry well on, I mean, it dried. It wasn't a drying problem. It just didn't come out well. It just didn't work. And people, oh, what's that on her leg? I don't know what that was. Something on my table again. I need to change my table. Okay, she is pounced. Pretty good, I think. I don't think she's going to have any rashes or anything. We're going to move her arms and legs over here because I'm going to work on her face first. I'm going to try to bump up that scratch into something that looks a little more like a scratch. Now, where did I put that? No, not there. I must have put it in the Gemini varnishes. It is a Gemini varnish after all. Okay, one of these is open. Probably this one at the front. Yes, that's the one. So I need a little something. Save little plastic things like this. I don't know why. Because I'm going to mix something up in it and I don't want to save it. It won't be enough to save. So I'll be just throwing it out. So we're going to put a little bit of this in there. That's way, way too much. We're just doing a scratch. Here we go. This stuff doesn't save well in a jar. Like, I'm going to save it for the next scratch. You'll find it's already dried out. Because too much headroom in your jar, you know. Now I need a little bit of color in it. I wonder if I use the thinning medium. Oh, this is all experimental now. I want y'all to know that. If I use the one that's in the thinning medium, it might just thin down my thick. I don't know. I'm going to use this one, I think. And I'm going to use a throwaway paintbrush. Where's that little squeezy thing that I have to get the... I know I got it. It's just a little squeezy. Where is it? Oh, good grief. I can't find anything. Well, won't be using that because I don't know where it's at. Okay, we'll just dribble. I don't need much because, like I said, I am just trying to color that thick medium. Okay, let's see if that'll do it. Well, I just splashed that all over her head. Oh, what a dope I am. There we go, I just soaked it back off. Okay, now let's mix some of this together and decide it's not even the right color. Too much fluid and not the right color. Okay, I need to dump some of that out. Okay, let's see. I really have no idea what I'm supposed to be doing with this. It really makes no sense at all to me. I know that sounds stupid, but I don't know how to use these mediums because, well, never have used them, so not that much anyway. Put some darker in it. Maybe that won't thin it too much and it'll still stay into a thick medium. I just really want the properties of a thick medium without so much using a thick medium, you know. I want it kind of scratchy. The only other thing I could think of to put in it would be sealer, and I don't want to bake her 2 more times. Maybe this is red enough, I don't know. And I don't know if I can put it on with this very, very icky brush. I'm gonna try my little skinny brush. Okay, here we go. I'm just gonna be putting minute little drops onto her scratch to try to make it look a little more bumpy than it really is. And hopefully when it comes out from the bake, it will also feel bumpy, like a scratch should. I could do 25 scratches with that much stuff I mixed up. But it does look more like a scratch. I don't think you can tell right now because, well, it's just looks like that. But I don't know how long it takes thick medium to dry, but it'll dry in the oven for sure. And I'm not going to throw it away yet because, well, if she comes out and looks like she needs more, I'm going to put a little more on her. I'm not rushing with this baby. I don't know. Maybe I'll just put it on her nails too. Maybe to give her a nice shimmery nail color. It's just going to be wasted if I don't use it. It's very pink because I didn't put much color in it. And so she looks like she's got nail polish on now. It's surely going to stay, I know that. We're not going to have to worry about that running off. It's thick. Next time I'll mix it in a proper container. Well, that's proper enough, but I forgot what that came with. Oh yeah, pacifiers. Pacifiers were enclosed in that, like you need some bubbly thing over a pacifier. But I saved them for little different purposes that I might need them for. Most of the time it's just for mixing up paint you're not going to keep, because you just need so little of it, or you just can't foresee needing it again, or it wouldn't keep well anyway, or something like that. I think I painted them all. Yeah, I painted that. Okay, we're going to still keep it up here until she comes out from her bake. Now let's see, what else did I want to do to her? Creasing and all that will come when she comes out. I'm just going to check her for little things I might need to whisk away, like that. And this overly coloring on the bottom of her foot. Every little thing you do, I remember my mother telling me this all the time. She'd tell it to us when we was cleaning our room and stuff. Every little thing you do and try to make it perfect makes your room look that much better. And so I listened, I guess, because I'm going now, every little thing I can do to take away any, bad looking stuff, it's just going to make her look that much better, even if it's tiny. Okay, she looks ready to me to go in the oven. I'm going to check her lips too. I like her lips. I'm leaving them alone. Okay. Okay, we're going to get her in the oven for a bake. And then when we come back, we'll be ready to crease. Creasing will be our next step. I may go on and put her eyes in magnet. You've seen me do that 100 times ahead of time because I want to root her so that when I come back I can show you how she looks rooted. I just can't even imagine her not being a blonde, but I'm thinking about making her a brunette. I get stuck on these hair colors because I made a doll that looked really good and it was, say, a blonde or a brunette. And then when I make another doll, I want it to be that too. I don't know, it's crazy. But we're going to get her in the oven. And I want to remind everybody to please like, subscribe, and share. And happy reborning.